today I'll be sharing my newest bag. So this is the Prada Nylon backpack. This is a vintage piece that I purchased off of eBay. When I purchase vintage pieces, I either purchase them from Fashion File or eBay. I just love the authentication process that both companies do. I have yet to have any bad experience. I have always got them re-authenticated through either online or in person. And I can share that in the description below where I got it re-authenticated. And that's just for more peace of mind, especially when you get them off of eBay. Again, while I've never had an issue, you can get some for really good prices. For example, I've got this for less than $200, and sometimes things are just way too good to be true. And you never know because fakes are just so popular. But I got it re-authenticated, and again, I went through the verification process. I did get this from a Japanese company. They also have their own export rules and regulations to where they ultimately can't ship like fake pieces if they are claiming that it's real. And then again with eBay, they just have that authentication piece. Fashion File, I know they actually really verify items, which is why they are typically more expensive. For example, I think the cheapest one that I saw on there was like $400. With eBay, I got this for about $200, got it re-authenticated, and it's still way cheaper. If you purchase this brand new right now, because they do have the Re-Nylon bags, it does come with a pouch, but it is $2,300, and you can buy a vintage one that's in great condition, like I feel like this one is, for less than $600. I've seen them on eBay for anywhere between $100, and those are the ones with like the odors and the cracks that need some love, to about $600 on like Fashion File. So it all depends on where you like buy it, what like condition it's in. I think this one overall is in some of the best condition in my opinion when it comes to a vintage piece. There was no stains, no odor. The only issue that this one had is the leather is cracking a bit on the leather pieces, but that is normal for a vintage bag. And I personally have been leaning more towards the vintage route. One, because it's a lot cheaper, but two, because the older pieces are just way more durable. They hold up a lot better in my opinion. So yeah, got it off of eBay. In this video, I want to cover the dimensions, really focus on what fits and how I'm going to use it. And then I did purchase a organizer because I just have to have an organizer in my bag. One, to keep me organized, but two, to like help keep the shape of the bag. This is currently at full capacity for the most part. I stuffed it. I want to go over and share how much you can definitely keep in here, which actually surprises me, especially for the size, which I'll go over the dimensions in just one moment. I'll do that next. But I want to share how I'm using it for work when I use it for work, how I'm using it for everyday, because this is my new everyday bag. And then how I use it just for, like, if I'm currently in school, I'm in my dissertation phase, when I like run to Starbucks and want to throw my laptop and stuff in here, what it looks like. Because yes, it does fit a MacBook, and it does fit my work computer, which is slightly larger. And again, I'll show y'all both of those. So for dimensions, this is 32 centimeters in height, which is 12.6 inches in height. And I personally measured this. It had slightly different dimensions, but I just wanted to re-verify it when I purchased it, because a lot of times, like the sellers, especially on eBay, I feel like they just copy and paste, and then they just go with like a certain like standard. So again, something just to look out for. But when I measured it, this was 12.6 inches, which is 32 centimeters. And height, it is 30 centimeters in width, which is 11.81 centimeters. And then it is 15 centimeters in depth, which is 5.91. From what I have seen, that is the exact same measurements that are currently on the website for the one that is currently brand new, the Re-Nylon for $2,300. And then from what I've seen with vintage pieces, the centimeters can vary. Again, I think it's based off of who's selling it, but I also think it has to do with wear. And so even though it's nylon, it might stretch out over the years, right? Like I believe this bag's about 20 years old. So if you ever want to buy a vintage bag, I would just keep in mind that it could vary by a few centimeters or inches based off of the seller or where you're getting it from. So yeah, that is the dimensions. As for features, so as y'all see, we have the buckle closures on the pockets. There is also a snap closure on each. So you can really secure this, which makes me feel more comfortable using this for travel with the snaps. Something to keep in mind if you're trying to buy this in a vintage piece, from what I have seen on videos, is that sometimes they just stop working or they shift. Mine has not. Again, this is in really great condition. But you can just open these up and then you can close them without having to use the snap closure. For example, I have my glasses in here and it doesn't quite snap, or if it does, like it stretches the fabric and I just don't want to do that. So I just have it there. This is my little tech section where I just have cables and AirPods and different things like that. This is just so that it's easily accessible, but it's also things that I might not need too frequently, right? So if I'm working or if I'm going to Starbucks to work on my paper, yes, I'm gonna need these, but it's a one-time thing, right? It's really when I like come in. If I would need my glasses, I'll take my glasses out, put it back in here. Same with the charger. I'll probably only need to grab it once I need it. And then everything in here is things that I might reach for a little bit more frequently. So that's how I decided to like use this. I also want to share what fits in here because you can fit a lot of things in here that I wouldn't have expected. And I think that's gonna be really great for travel, because I do plan on using this as my carry-on piece whenever I do travel. So that is the pockets. And then we have the top, which has a string, so you can open it up. So when we open it up, like I said, I have it currently packed so y'all can see what really fits in full capacity. So I'll share the internal in just a moment when we empty this out. But on the back, we have a leather piece here. Again, you can see some of the crack. You have a top handle, you have the triangle with these straps, and then you can adjust it at the bottom. I just have it so that it's longer so it can fall down a little bit more, but you can adjust it to what you need. And then it's all nylon on the exterior. Again, I think this one is just in really great condition, and I'm really happy that I found this piece. So that is the external features. On the inside, as y'all can see, we have my Louis Vuitton pochettes here. So this is typically my like carry-all. I also like it for when I carry like larger bags, especially backpacks, or even when I travel. This is a great backup bag, and so I can use it for storage. Like I have pens, my badge in here, just random things honestly in here. But right now this is like my stationery holder. But when I'm traveling, I can use it to store everything, and then I can use it as a bag if I need something smaller, or same with work. If I take my backpack and I don't want to take my backpack out for maybe lunch or something, I can just use this as a bag. So I have that just sitting up top. This is my 13-inch MacBook Pro, and you can fit it horizontally or vertically, which is really nice. So that's something that was a deal breaker because I had to fit my laptop. I was able to fit, when I went to take my car for service, both this and my HP work computer, which is a 14-inch in width. This is our 14-inch laptop. This is a 13-inch laptop. Here are my sunglasses just sitting up top because I need those. And then this is the Louis Vuitton GM Agenda. And again, this is one that you can sit up vertically like it is right now, or you can also put it horizontally, which is really nice. So here is my Chanel cosmetic pouch. This just has like everyday essentials that I like to carry around. So it's summer, so I have like sunscreen in here, lip gloss, purse spray, mirror, random little things that I might just need while out. I also keep hair ties and bobby pins in here for when I go to the gym, because I will just take this with me anywhere. So if I'm out and about and I'm using this bag, I need to have everything in here, which is also why like my gym lock is in this bag. And I have the organizer in here currently, which is why it's sitting up well. I have my iPad mini in the pocket of the organizer. And then here is the GM. So I'm just gonna put it on its side so y'all can see what it looks like. So you still have plenty of space inside of here to put whatever you need. And then I like having them, I thought I would wanna have these sitting up vertically, but I like having them laying down horizontally because I can throw things on top, but also it makes the bag a little bit smaller when you close it with the string. And I think it just makes it like easier to carry, but you can set it up vertically and close it. So let me show y'all that. And you don't have to use the string if you don't want to. So I won't do that just to show y'all, but this is really hard to do one-handed since I'm using my phone. There is a magnetic closure. Again, it's easier with 2 hands, but I just have one. It does peek out a little bit, but it does technically fit. And again, so if you want to fit something that might be slightly larger than this, like I had a 15-inch, I don't know if a 15-inch MacBook would, no, actually, I think it would fit vertically, but definitely not horizontally. And that's just because I've had one and I can remember the dimensions, but I can't verify. But this is what the 13-inch looks like. It's also the main reason why I got a 13-inch, because the 15-inch was hard to find that to fit. But with my work one, like I said, it's in between and it fits in here pretty well, or it fits in here perfectly. So we have those. Again, here's the GM. Here's it standing up. And when it's at full length, so you can fit any planner. This is an A5 planner in here. And then here is the organizer. So I'll take this out so we can see inside, but this is just what I prefer when it comes to an organizer. So I'm trying to get rid of that glow. There we go. Okay, so this is just what I prefer with an organizer, so that way I can keep all of my SLGs, like my wallet, my keys, more like out of the way, but also in a spot where it's easier to find, because a backpack, everything can gravitate towards the bottom and there's no organization. This is slightly, it was supposed to be fitted based off of the dimensions, but I think as you can see here, it's just a little snug, so it comes in a little bit. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I purchased this for $12 because it was 50% off. It's normally $24, $25, and it's the best like size. I tried my Louis Vuitton Neverfull MM organizer because I've seen people do that, and it was a little bit more snug than this, to the point where I didn't want to use that. This I think is a great fit, and I think honestly I just need to adjust it a little more. I just haven't, and I've been lazy. So here's my organizer. I'm going to take this out so we can see the inside. This is also what the organizer looks like. So you have 2 pockets out here. I did get more of that nylon feel just because it's less likely to have like things stick to it. And I just thought it went well with the backpack. You don't have 2 back pockets, but you do have this like iPad laptop case where my laptop will fit in this vertically, not horizontally. You have a zipper. It also comes with a detachable, I think you can see the Velcro, middle insert, which I already lost, but I wasn't going to use. And then you have a zipper, which I like to keep just like random things in there, like change, anything that I don't want at the bottom of my purse. Here's my wallet, got a little pocket knife. And then it does also come with a chain so that you can hold on to your keys a little bit better, and that way you can easily come in and out, which I really like. So here's what it looks like. I have my key and key pouch on here, and that way it's easier to find, but I think you can also hook the insert in here. So that is this one. I also think this one wasn't fitting properly inside because it doesn't have the insert, so I just need to like shape it a little bit. Again, this is newer, but that way it'll be the perfect fit on the inside. So have the key pouch. This is just my key holder with like random keys, like a mail key, garage key, different things like that. I have this little reusable bag just in case I forget it or I'm running into a store and need to like quickly grab something so I don't have to buy a bag. And then this is the Apple battery pack, so I can just throw it on my phone. It's a MagSafe one, and then charge my phone. So that's the organizer. And then it doesn't stand up on its own without it, but on the inside we have the Prada logo. We have a pocket that's not too deep. There's my lock for the gym. And then I have a dryer sheet in here. It didn't have an odor, but it definitely, you can tell it wasn't new. And I like throwing a dryer sheet in there for like 1 to 2 weeks, because it kind of just, I feel like it removes like the used smell, even though it's not a used smell. But if you buy vintage pieces, you know what I'm talking about. It's not that it's an odor, but it doesn't smell fresh. I think it's ultimately what I'm looking at. So I like throwing dryer sheets in there because they're strong enough to really take over and it smells better. But yeah, this is the inside. And there's nothing else but the pocket. And then this is the design. So that is the inside of the bag. I'm going to put the organizer back in. I'll try to adjust it a little bit better for y'all. And then I'll show y'all just the different ways that I'm using it and show y'all what fits. Okay, so here is my MacBook Pro and then my work laptop. So my work laptop is thicker. Again, you can see that it is wider. And so my stipulations for this bag was that it had to be able to fit both just in case I need to work on one or I want to bring both laptops with. They are the same width, or I'm sorry, height, but again, width, it's just longer. And then this is definitely thicker. So let me show you what these both look like. So vertically, again, the MacBook is like the perfect fit if you have a 13-inch, and if it's a Pro specifically, because it is thicker than like the Airs, fits perfectly. The 14-inch, because I believe it's 14, does stick up, but it does still close with the snap closure. It's definitely a little snug, but it will fit that way, but it also fits horizontally as well. So let's just turn these. And so here is the HP, the MacBook, and then again, that GM Agenda just for reference. This is what it looks like out here. So it's just at full capacity when it comes to width. And then when we close it up, here, let me tighten it. Actually, I will tighten it. Again, I just preferred using it this way. It's up to you and however you want to maneuver things in, but then it fits perfectly inside, and then it closes with the strap. And then you can also use this, and then it's on here, and you can see you have plenty of room to throw things up top like I did earlier. So that is laptops. So first setup / configuration is for school. So I am doing everything online. I'm in my dissertation phase, and so it's ultimately writing my dissertation. So all I need is my laptop and my planner when I go to work on it somewhere else that isn't home. And so this is what it looks like when I go run to a coffee shop. So I have my MacBook. Again, I just prefer it horizontally. My GM Agenda has my academic section. I've just been preferring to use this. And then what I like is that it fits really well in here. I have my little everyday cosmetic carry from Chanel that I showed y'all. And then my pouch, if I don't use this for tech. So I normally keep like my chargers and stuff in here when I'm traveling. But again, right now this works perfectly as a tech holder, and it keeps everything out of the way so I can put more things in here. But I can keep my charger and stuff in here too. But we have this, and then I just keep my sunglasses on top because that's something that I like, you know, use a little more frequently, because when I go into somewhere, I'll take them off, put them in, and then when I leave, I take them out. So I usually like to have this floating like up top or like over here, or I tuck it in like a pocket. So this is the configuration that I primarily use. And then again, it just works perfectly, fits everything that I need. And then it's also going to be a similar work setup. I would just swap out my MacBook for my HP, and then just a little bit thicker, and it works perfectly. So I wouldn't really need anything else for work, especially since this is my work planner. So that is for work and school. For every day, this is typically what I carry with me. So I bring my iPad mini, like honestly, just in case. Sometimes if we go places, my husband and I, especially during football or hockey season, we'll have a game pulled up on here. So that helps out. And then just in case I want to like use it or reference it for something. But I have it in the pocket of this organizer now. And then I'll need my sunglasses. And then honestly, I just removed the laptop and the planner, and this is what I carry every single day because this is everything I need. I haven't been removing the chargers or anything because they're kind of lightweight, and that way I don't forget to re-add them. But I personally can take them out if I want to reuse it for something else. Like if I want to throw my wallet in here for easier access, I can do that and just take those out. And then I just keep my glasses in here. Or if I want to throw my sunglasses in this pocket. But again, I just want to personally use this for things that I might not use as frequently. So this is my everyday carry. It's very light. This backpack is so lightweight because it's nylon. And then because there's barely anything in here, I feel like it just makes it a lot smaller, right? And so it's a little bit easier. So I like brought this into Trader Joe's when I went grocery shopping, took it to Target when I picked up my prescription, and it's just somewhat of a larger bag, smaller than a tote. And that's what I really like, is that it's like the perfect size to carry your laptop, but it's not a huge tote, and it's still functional because it's a backpack. So this is how I use it for every day. And then I want to show y'all one more configuration for how I intend to use it for travel. I will do a pack with me in a few months when I travel next, and I will use this as my carry-on. But I want to show y'all what my thought process is when it comes to using this for travel as my personal item. So this was everything that was in the tech pocket. So I had my AirPods. I have to use wired headphones for my work laptop, so I have that in here. And then I have this big old charger and the USB-C Thunderbolt charger. So I'm gonna throw this into the pochette accessory. And then I want to use this for something else for travels. But I just wanted to show y'all what really fits in here. So this big old bulky thing fits in here. And if I was traveling, I would probably have it set up. I'd probably have one more or two chargers in here for like my Apple Watch, my Oura Ring now. I would just throw all my tech stuff in here. But I have my AirPods in this key pouch, and I would either attach it to this or I would attach it to like this hook or the string, probably the hook. So that way I could easily get in and out of the key pouch while traveling. I won't have to go in my bag for my AirPods. So for now, we'll just keep it in here just to, again, go with full max capacity. But I'm gonna close this up. And then one thing I experimented with is what really could fit in here. So as I showed y'all, the glasses fit perfectly. Let me grab the sunglasses case so y'all can also just see that. They're the same. This is a little bit wider, but it fits just the same because it stretches. Again, with that nylon, you have more flexibility. But again, you can do the snap closure. And actually, I think it's a, yeah, and I feel like it's just like a little too snug. You can do it, but I wouldn't. But like, see it, like, that's like max stretch for both. When you can just like tie it down if you want. And then you can just adjust it to one of these if you want to close this up. And it's in there. So that's glasses, sunglasses. But I have the Kindle Color Soft. I'm a huge reader. And here's it in its case. I also tried it in my one with the pop socket, but I can't find that, of course. But my Kindle Color Soft fits in the pocket. You can't close it with the button, like with the strap. But if I'm traveling, this is something, again, that I want to be easily accessible because that's probably what I'm using on the plane, right, to read. Or just, you know, if I'm like out and I want to like carry my Kindle with, it can fit in here. This is how I intend to travel because that's something for me. I don't want to have to dig into my bag for things that I need right away. And I probably would keep my glasses inside of here when traveling and throw my wallet in one of these pockets and now my Kindle in here. So like I said, it doesn't fit with the closure. If you have like the 6-inch, I think it'd be the perfect fit in here. But you can secure it with just this. So if there is something that is a little too tall and you want to fit in here, it will be secured with the straps. So it fits. Like, I will 100% do this at the airport because it's nice and secure in here, and now it's easily accessible. So I can easily throw it underneath the bag. I can get it out really quickly, or I can just easily like bend over and like take it out once we're in flight. It really all depends. But either way, like this is now easily accessible and it fits. I also would say this is like the largest you can fit in here because of its height. Like you can't put really anything else in here. Maybe you could squeeze something else in here. Like try what you want, right? But this is how I would definitely use it when traveling. So we're gonna keep that there. And then I'm gonna throw in my pochette accessory as well as my sunglasses. But also I brought my Chanel cosmetic pouch. So this is the train, not train, this isn't the train one. This is the double zip. And I love this because I can carry all of my makeup that I need, toothbrush, all of that in this bag. And I prefer not to put this in a suitcase just because if I have to check it and they lose my like checked bag, I'd be mad if they lost this. So I like to carry like some of like my SLGs with me. But then also if I need something while we first land, or if I want, like if I don't wear makeup because I usually do like the really early flights and I want to put on makeup at some point, like I have it all with me. But this is a pretty thick pouch and it fits really well in here. And then I also use it as an accessory, like stationary bag, like y'all can see here. That's how I'm using it now when I'm not traveling. And so if I also just want to carry this when I like go work on things, it fits really well. So let me show y'all that as well. Okay, so if I was traveling, this is typically what I bring in my personal item. I have pack with me's and stuff online where you can see like the different variations that I've done with different bags when it comes to being a personal item. And then I always just focus on accessibility and maximizing what I can bring in my personal item. But I would have, like I said, my wallet here. So this is my Chanel. This is the double pouch, double fold. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Card holder. So this one's actually thicker than the regular card holder because it actually has 2 compartments in it. And so y'all can also see it's thick because it has like all my cards in it right now. But I would have like my wallet here so I can easily get to it. Again, my Kindle is right here. And then we have my laptop in here because I would want to carry that with me. My iPad mini is back here. I can throw something that I want in here. This is that Chanel double zip pouch. This is my everyday pouch. I have my sunglasses, my reading glasses. Everything else is still in on the sides, just not the wallet because I moved it. And then this is the pochette accessory with all the chargers and stuff. So this is everything that I usually carry in my personal item. And we can close it up. So there's everything tucked away. We have the button. You can adjust this as needed. And then I can double secure it with this if I want to. So let's do that. And then I have everything that I need and I'm used to taking with. So again, this is, to me, going to be the perfect everyday personal work and school bag, and I'm really excited about it. I also love it. I don't know what it is, but since I moved to Washington, I've just, actually ever since I got my Montseri Louis Vuitton backpack, I've just been a backpack person and I never thought I'd see the day. But this is definitely my most functional backpack. And I'm really excited about it, especially since it's still pretty casual. So I can use it pretty much anywhere, right? And for anything. So yeah, other than that, that is going to be it for this video. I think I addressed all the questions that I did on the poll for Instagram. But if you have any more, feel free to leave them in the comments. Happy to answer anything that I can. I'll have links below to, I'll see if I can link this one exactly. If not, for sure the seller, and then just ones that are like it. And then the organizer, and then whatever else I can link. If y'all want the accessories, I can try and do that too. But yeah, other than that, thanks for bearing with me. It's my first bag video in a while. So this, I was definitely a little rusty, I know. So sorry if it's a little chaotic, but other than that, that is gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching.